Hi
So,
viewers, we have Abhilash Datta today with us, and he's a student from IIT Kharagpur and will be sharing his journey today with ConnectBud. Welcome Abhilash to ConnectBud, and I really appreciate your time. How are you doing?
yeah, I'm doing very fine. I would love
Okay,
to share my information with correct part.
thank you so much. Let's begin with your educational background. Tell us about your schooling. From which school and city did you complete your plus two? And regarding your subjects that you are pursuing in IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah, I've completed my plus two intermediate in my hometown, Bhopal itself,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there in this coaching called FITG Bhopal, and
Okay.
we have their dummy school here, which was known as Gyadanga International Academy. So I've completed my plus two from there only. They have teachers, their daughters have for both J and for boards. So I got good marks in both of them. And
Mm-hmm.
currently, I'm pursuing the computer science branch in IIT Kharagpur.
Okay.
In the first year, all subjects are common, so I have to study each of the subjects.
Okay.
Next year, there would be a segregation.
But com science is your major, right? You'll be graduating with a major in
Yeah,
com
computer
science,
science.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. And since you said that you were preparing for your boards as well as you were studying for your main and advanced, so for how many years did you kind of prepare, or
yeah.
was it like for months?
Yeah, no, I've started a bit early. I've started from standard 9. I
Okay.
was a bit, my dream was for IIT from that class itself, and I have to crack it. I love that competition. I want to enter the IIT, and I wanted to meet all those intelligent boys in the country.
Okay.
So I started
Yeah.
from class 9. I was joined PD from that class only.
Okay. And I also want to know if you remember what was your ranking.
Yeah, uh, I got a rank of 605 in J main,
Mm-hmm.
securing a total of 310 out of 360.
Mm-hmm.
And I've scored a rank of 368 in J Advanced, and my marks were 237 out of 372.
Okay. And as you said, you enrolled into FITG and you have been studying, you have been aiming for IIT since standard 9. So
Yeah,
I want to understand, did FITG had any entrance exams that a student need to qualify?
yeah. Fiji has various entrance exams whole year. Like it starts from September. They have the paper called MPTRE, which is particular for Madhya Pradesh, which is particular for each state. Like Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh, it's for MPTRE, and for rest of the states, it's a state particular. And after that, there is a whole all India level paper, which is called FTRE, Fiji Talent Reward Exam. And there are several tests like Big Bang, apart from Fiji admission tests.
Mm-hmm.
I have cleared that MPTRE to get a scholarship. I first got a scholarship for whole 4 years with no tuition fee. But then at class 11th, I've switched my program to the Pinnacle program, in which I have to leave my school and I have to go to this dummy school created by Fiji, so that I
Okay.
can so that I can give my main focus on IIT. So I've switched my program, and then there was no discount, so I have to pay the whole tuition fee for those 2 years.
Okay. Okay. So you made this switch when you came to standard
Class
11.
11.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what was the tuition fee back then you were charged for by FITG?
yeah. It was nearly 1.2 lakh.
And it was in Madhya Pradesh itself, or it was in some other state?
No, no. This fee was for Fiji in all over country. Fiji is a India-wide. It's an India-wide startup. So the main center is in South Delhi, I think. Yeah, Fiji is
Mm-hmm.
in South Delhi. So it's the tuition fee is for every center.
Okay.
There are
So
no.
actually, my question was on, since you said that
Mhm.
you went to Fiji to study instead of going to after standard 11th you switched. So you went to this center which was in Madhya Pradesh, or you went elsewhere?
No, no. I went to the center in Bhopal itself. Bhopal is the
Okay.
capital of my place. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you went. Okay,
Yeah.
and I want to understand from you, as you said, you have been planning for this when you were in standard ninth itself. So, what was that motivation that you wanted to be an engineer and to do
Yeah.
IT?
Actually, it was not engineering as first, but it's the love for science and math. I
Mm-hmm.
love science, and math is the only way to do science. And apart from
Okay.
that, my father is also an electrical engineer from National Institute of Technology, Bhopal. So
Mm-hmm.
this gave me an additional influence. To I have to get better than him, and I have to get more successful than him. This my desire. So
Okay.
and my sister is also an engineer. So I have a family of engineer and whole race
Okay.
of engineers.
Okay.
So
All right. That makes sense. And
yeah.
now let's talk about. I believe when you were in Fiji, they would have given you lots of tips to score. So I want to understand if you want to share some of your strategies for getting high score in physics,
Hmm.
chemistry, and maths.
Yeah, actually the J paper, it the main thing is not all the concepts which matters, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also the time management. We have to manage time. If we have the perfect knowledge, we have to use that knowledge in those questions which we know we can do the best, because there's negative marking everywhere. If we just try one wrong option, the whole we
Mm-hmm.
can get a whole negative of 7 marks, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
big loss which we don't want. So we have to invest our time in those questions which we know we can do it, and which we know we are sure about it. We are sure about the answer, and we know that we can score from it. In the coaching, I've practiced to give the paper in the manner like I'll give the chemistry section first, and then I'll do the physics section, and then I'll do the math. As it's general trend that JE Advanced Mathematics is tougher than
Okay.
the other two subjects. But still they have told us that it's not always that the paper is going to be as per your trend, because in the JD Advanced 2019 which I gave, the physics section was more tougher than math. So you have to make the decisions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the concept and the problem solving in your brain, you have to think about those things, like where to give your time, and which questions you should have to make, which section do you have to choose. We have to do all these calculations as well in our mind. And but we have the same 3 hours only. We cannot
Mm-hmm.
get extra time, so we have to utilize that time as best as we can, so that we can get the most optimum marks. Yeah, I still know that I got very less. I got nearly 30 kind of marks in physics, and I've got 42 in the first paper of J Advanced, which I think I've never got. I've never got more marks in maths than physics.
Mm-hmm.
But still, this is the proper utilization and optimization of time. Uh,
Okay.
this is the best strategy which I could think. And to obtain this kind of strategy, you have to give more and more papers. You'll have to see the variety, how that how a situation can occur. Like how can a section which we know, how can chemistry be more tougher than math? Like
Mm-hmm.
if we face all those problems in our practice time, then we won't face so much problem in the main paper.
Okay.
And apart from that, Fiji also has a paper called AI All India Test Series, which
Mm-hmm.
I think which many boys don't give even in Fiji. But I think it was very helpful for me in this in J Advanced 2019, because the All India Series, it's considered as the most toughest paper in all the coachings of the country. And
Mm-hmm.
this year, the J Advanced, it was also at that level of AITS. Like the questions were very tough, and most of the boys, they were confused that how can advance be so tough. They were panicked, and they and their brains, it will surely run slow. But at that time, I have given so many papers. I've given all the AITS series, So I know
Mm-hmm.
that this type of paper will come. I know I will score less. Yeah, and I did score less. I got 237, which I never got in my practice years. But I know I will get a good rank in this score only. So it's no
Okay.
need to panic. It's tough for everyone. It's not personal. So these are the things which we have to keep in mind, and we have to maintain our cool. We have to utilize time and optimize the score.
Okay, that was really helpful. And now let's talk about your routine that you followed as a student when you were in Fiji. Like, how many hours did you keep studying and practicing, like, on an average
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
day?
I used to study less but practice more. Like
Okay.
in the yeah, I was not so serious about studies in ninth and 10th, but in 11th and 12th, they gave us papers. They gave PDF of papers, last previous year papers, or papers of other coaching or other test series. They give all the
Mm.
papers so that we can practice them at home.
Okay.
So we can practice them at home, and like if I don't know any concept,
Mm-hmm.
I will just go through in my notes, and then I will give a paper. I will have some doubts. There will be many questions which I'm not able to solve in that paper, and then I will
Mm-hmm.
revise it. Then I will revise the concept which they have taught us. If I still don't know the concept, I will go and ask them, and this process gets repeated on and on. Uh, one day I would get very less doubts, only 1 to 2 questions like this. So I gave two papers daily. No, I gave one paper daily in the whole year, 12th, uh, but 2 months before mains and advanced, I
Mm-hmm.
started to give two papers daily, and two papers it consumes 6 hours of me. And apart from
Okay.
that, for doubt solving, I gave doubt solving 2 hours, and for those conceptual clarities, I didn't give much time. I just go to my friends who are more, I think, who were more intelligent than me, who scored better than me. I went to
Mm-hmm.
them. I either called them or went to them, and they just clarified my doubts. And even if they don't, I just finally went to my teachers, Fiji teachers, and
Mm-hmm.
they clarified my doubts.
Okay, that sounds like one hell of a routine, though. So I was curious to know if a student has to live such a hectic life with a lot of stress on that you need to take because you have
Uh,
to be clearing these exams. How did you keep yourself motivated during this time?
Actually, you are thinking like I study for 8 hours a day. It would be much hectic, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know it was hectic for me, but still I managed to take out 2 hours of time there, 2 to 1.5 hours of time daily to play football in the grounds of Minal. And
Okay.
yeah, that was a great stress buster for me. Uh, and most of the papers which I gave the whole 6 hours was a night time. Like I would start from 9 p.m. and I'll go to 2 or 3 o'clock to complete that. That was a night time. So and I clarified all my doubts and my the doubts in my questions which I'm not able to solve. I did those in the morning time, and I gave the papers in the night time. So the rest of the day was free for me, as I don't have to go to school. I don't
Okay.
have any other focus on that, so I can only focus on my paper giving, doubt solving, and concept clarifying.
Okay. And other than the study material that was provided to you by Fiji, would you like to recommend any other external study material to the aspiring students?
Yeah, like it's subject wise. Like for maths, there is Cengage series, which
Hmm.
is there in all countries. Cengage series, I think it's very good. It has all questions starting from basic level to the most expertise level. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it has a whole bunch of questions. So for yeah, it's available for PCM three subjects as well. But I think
Mm-hmm.
in particular for maths and physics, the Cengage is very good. The Cengage, I don't know the name of the author. It's some Sharma. So, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very good. Uh, if you solve that book for HC, if you are able to solve that book, then most of the concepts you will get it will get cleared by itself. As the
Mm-hmm.
book in theory itself, it has lot of short tricks, how to solve a question faster, how to save time. It tells everything, like how to deal this kind of questions if it comes in papers. Uh, it, it it has everything in it. But due to a lot of questions, it has hell over 200 questions per uh, per chapter. So
Mm-hmm.
many students consider that as a time waste if they don't have much time, like in they are in 12th standard and they have their mains or advanced very near,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have to do that book. If they have time, like in standard 11th or in the beginning of 12th, then they can, then it's perfect. It's not for last minute purpose.
Mm-hmm.
uh, and Sengi's book is good. And apart from that, for chemistry, I
Mm-hmm.
used to study the inorganic part. It's a book called J.D. Lee. It's a foreign author book, but but it has been modified by a Indian author whose name is Sudarshan Guha. So
Mm-hmm.
J.D. Lee by Sudarshan Guha. It's very good and very concise book for inorganic. If you just yeah, it has a lot of theory, but
Mm-hmm.
if you just get through the theory, if you just read one, there won't be any question left in inorganic. In inorganic, yeah, I know it's hard to just mug up all the things which is
Mm-hmm.
given in the book, but still, but you will there won't be a single question which I've not heard about it. Every
Okay.
question, it's there in the book. It's either in the questions or it's either in the theory. It has a lot bunch of theory. Still, it will cover up whole. And this is a
Mm-hmm.
particular type of book which everyone needs, because there's I've never got any other book which have all the things which comes in paper, all the questions and all the kinds and every topic it's present there. It's a very thick book. And um, there are many topics there which are very high level. But
Mm-hmm.
still, if you just go through that book, it would be very nice. And you will cover all the inorganic part of chemistry.
Okay.
For physical chemistry, you have to practice. Physical is just like math. The higher you practice, the more you get the mark.
Mm-hmm.
uh, for physical chemistry, there are books. uh, I don't know. Yeah, the publication is Balaji Publications,
Okay.
and it comes for various topics like atomic structure. It comes for various topics. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sudarshan, no, no, yeah, it's Balaji Publications. So yeah, if you just buy the individual books, there are, it's also like saying it doesn't have theory. It
Mm-hmm.
only has questions. It has lots. It's starting from intermediate level. It has three sections as well. Starting the
Mm-hmm.
first is the primary section, or the starting introductory questions. The second, the
Mm-hmm.
intermediate questions, and third for the day advanced like questions. So if you just solve all those three parts, uh, then it would be very good to cover topics. Like first
Okay.
you read the topic from somewhere, either from your notes or from any other video source.
Mm-hmm.
And after that you just test your knowledge by using those books. And if you are able to solve all the three levels of that book, it means you're ready. It's a direct signal that that chapter of yours is
Covered
it's very
very well.
strong. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And would you like to talk about physics and maths? Recommended books for those two?
Yeah, physics. I have generally I studied physics from Cengage itself. And
Mm-hmm.
maths. There's a for calculus part. For calculus questions, there is a book called GRB by some Bansal. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's the owner of Bansal Group of Institutions. So
Okay.
he has written this Bansal Coaching. Yeah. So he has written a book which is published by GRB Publications. It's
Mm-hmm.
very good for calculus.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are able to solve that book, it's a clear signal of calculus. Like you are very strong in calculus, and you won't leave any question in advance. Uh, and for maths, there is also a Balaji publication book for coordinate geometry. For coordinate
Okay.
geometry, it has very good questions. But the point is, you cannot solve all those questions. I'm also not able to solve. I've also solved some particular books. I've not solved the Cengage as a whole, but
Mm-hmm.
still, I just have those books, and I've just covered them topic wise. Like if I think one topic of mine is weak, so I did that book. And like for calculus and coordinate geometry, they are tough for for every IIT
Mm-hmm.
aspiring student. So I recommend them to go through that GRB publication by Bansal,
Okay.
and that Balaji publication for coordinate geometry, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and for like which was left, math, yeah, for algebra Cengage is good.
Mm-hmm.
Algebra, yeah, for no other book. Yeah, algebra, I've used Cengage as well for matrices, determinants, and all those simpler equations. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I use Cengage only. Yeah, and for organic chemistry, there are two books. Yeah, one by GRV publication, which is called Himanshu Pandey. Yeah,
Okay.
Himanshu Pandey, it's very good for organic. If you cover the if you can cover the GRV book, then you can switch over to one Balaji book as well. But I think covering one book is enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I did because I lack confidence in organic chemistry, so I did
Mm-hmm.
the two books which were recommended by my faculty members.
Okay.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that helped me a lot. That made my chemistry very powerful. So I scored a lot, like 53 or 55 out of 60 in
Mm-hmm.
the advanced papers.
Okay, so that was really elaborative. And let's talk about the list of colleges to which you applied in order of your original preference.
Uh, See, according to my rank, I was very clear that I will get only three colleges, the topmost three colleges,
Mm-hmm.
which I was preferring. First, I I was um, no, it's not the preference order. I was confused to which one to prefer actually. So
Okay.
there was this IIT Kharagpur dual degree, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm in dual degree course, which is BTech plus MTech in whole 5 years, just saving
Okay.
1 year. And I was getting that IIT Delhi Electrical, which was only BTech 4 years. I
Okay.
was getting IIT, yeah, it was IIT, um, and yes, the IIT Roorkee Computer Science, 4 years. I was getting these three, the topmost colleges, the topmost branch, which was there in my rank. So
Okay.
I preferred IIT Kharagpur to IIT Roorkee, as I've seen the placement records and I've seen the studies, how our studies in both campus. Yeah, the campus is very good in every IIT, and it's especially for Roorkee, which is just recently renovated. The campus is very good. It's situated in the top of a hill. But still,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that the campus which I'm in, IIT Kharagpur, it's 2,100 acres, which is very big, and there's a lot of freedom here. The studies are also good, uh, comparing to IIT Roorkee. So I just preferred IIT Kharagpur to IIT Roorkee for the
Mm-hmm.
betterment of this life, and for the betterment of my intellect. And coming to IIT Delhi Electrical
Mm-hmm.
versus IIT Kharagpur Computer Science. Yeah, IIT Delhi Electrical. Yeah, it was a very great branch which I was
Mm-hmm.
getting, but my parents were also uh, forcing me to uh, forcing me to go to IIT Delhi as well, because firstly my father is also an electrical engineer, and
Mm-hmm.
Delhi is very in near proximity to Bhopal. There's a just direct flight of 2 hours uh, from Bhopal to IIT Delhi.
Okay.
But it was my preference to choose computer science over electrical branch,
Mm-hmm.
because in today's world the computers are only the trending part, because they are the ones who are getting placed. And I've
Mm-hmm.
also heard that the electrical guys, they are also being placed in this. score in this computer science job. They also don't study. They are just there to get the good placement of IIT Delhi. But they all even most of the boys in IITs, they just switch over to this non-core field, and they just do computer science, or they just do coding or machine learning. They
Mm-hmm.
just delve into these kind of fields.
Okay. So
So
those were your criterias.
yeah, so why to take why to study electrical if you are there, if you know that you will get job in computer science only, so why to study
Yeah.
electrical? And they are not the placement percentage is not very different in Delhi and Kharagpur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kharagpur not being a city, yeah, it's slightly less, but still for dual degree, the average salaries and the placement percentage, it's quite good.
Okay, so that was the reason why you opted this. Yeah, that was nice. And let's talk about the facilities. As you said, the campus is really huge. Would you
Yeah,
like to talk about the gym, library, and other facilities inside the campus?
yeah. Yeah, so starting from the library, IIT Kharagpur has got the largest library of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Even which we heard in India, like the National Digital Library of India,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
developed by the IIT Kharagpur itself, and we get free chance to access those libraries.
Mm-hmm.
There are 10 to 12 halls in the libraries, and each hall is very big. There are millions of books there, and we can go and study there, discuss a project anytime in whole 24 hours. So library facility is very good. We can issue book for months. The late fee is also very less.
Okay.
Yeah, so the library facility satisfies me. Yeah, but still some books are very old, some books are just rotting there. But every year there's a check on this book, the quality of book. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so many books get replaced. If you want any book, a new book to come, you can also
Mm-hmm.
just talk to the manager there, and they can issue that book for you as well.
Okay.
And yeah, and the gym facilities. Yeah, there's a there's a gym in every hall. Like we call our hostels, we call them halls. Like
Okay.
this is my hall of residence. To
Okay.
get a good feeling of that hall looking.
Uh-huh.
So, so we call them hall of residence, and each hall has a private gym. Like
Okay.
I'm staying in Radhakrishnan Hall of Residence, so it has a personal gym there, and there are 26 halls in IIT Kharagpur. So and each hall has got their personal gym, and there's a gymkhana here which
Mm-hmm.
conducts all the society activities, which conducts all those sports activities. Yeah, gymkhana is a
Yeah,
ruling
so
member.
this Gymkhana Club is inside the college premises?
Yeah, gymkhana is the major body which controls all the clubs of IIT Kharagpur, and
Okay.
it also, like, there's a market here, uh, there are shops here, all those
Mm.
uh, all those markets and shops, they pay rent to the gymkhana. So the
Okay.
gymkhana is the major spending body of IIT Kharagpur. So
Mm.
and gymkhana, it also has its own gym, but it is paid, and the fee is very minimal, like 500 rupees for a year, which is
Okay.
very good. And the gym has good facilities. The gym of Gymkhana is it has all those machines and all latest equipment
Mm.
which are not there in the private gyms. But still, I prefer to stay in my personal gym only, as
Okay.
there's not much difference. The equipments, yeah, the equipments are old, but still, it suffices me.
So, in a nutshell, the college
Hmm.
has a lot of
Yeah.
facilities to keep student engaged and a lot of things to do
Hmm.
as a part of recreational activities. Okay, now
Yeah.
let's talk about the professor. Do you have any favorite professor here in IIT Kharagpur? And if yes, what is that you really like about the professor?
Yeah, there was a professor whose name was Paditya Bhaumik in my first semester. Like in first year, we have got all subjects in common. Like you have to
Mm-hmm.
study maths, you have to study electrical, you have to study civics, civil. So all subjects are there in common. But there was a
Mm-hmm.
particular thing about that math. He was a math professor. Uh, he just used to come and he used to start by writing in the board. He used to explain every concept to everyone, and even if one child out of those 100 who were sitting there, even if one
Mm-hmm.
has any doubt, he used to clarify them, and which I think, which was I used to clarify many of my doubts. So I think it was the best part for that, because all other teachers, they used to just start their inbuilt slides or slides who are or taken or derived from MIT or Stanford universities, and they just come here and just read them all so that we can understand. But they think we can understand, but I think that method of just writing in the board and explaining, I think it's a lot better than those slides.
And maybe because we are so used to it as an Indian student, when
Hmm.
the professor is teaching us writing things on board, maybe.
Maybe it's possible, but still, if he's writing something and he has first written it and then he's explaining, then
Mm-hmm.
the whole focus is on that line only. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's a slide in front of us and he just reading it out line by line, so our whole
Okay.
focus is on just looking at the whole slide and writing it, and listening to him as well. So there's a multitasking kind of thing,
Okay.
so which brings less concentration to the thing he's explaining. uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's more effective to write on the board and explain. And
Okay.
especially it's math, you cannot teach math by just showing
Showing
anyone slides.
slides.
You
Yeah,
have
got
to
it.
explain them line by line.
Okay. And other than him, is there any other professor who might be really famous among student, or famous in general because of his contribution he might not have taught you?
Yeah,
So would you like to name
yeah,
few?
yeah. He was my. I know one because it's my first year only. I don't know many professors, but
Mm-hmm.
his initials were PPC. Everyone calls him PPC. His name is Partha Pratim Chakraborty.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the ex dean of he was the ex director of IIT Kharagpur. He was
Mm-hmm.
so good that his tenure got extended for 2 years. Like he was the
Okay.
dean for 6 years, and still students want them, because he had he had invested so much into student activities, so much into the research facilities, to uh,
Mm-hmm.
to renew the books of library every year. All those
Mm-hmm.
He has done many things for the good of students. So he's very popular, and he's one of professor of computer science department only. So maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be and I'm like it's really
He would
very
be.
inspiring me
Okay.
to get taught by him.
Okay. And let's talk about student club and fraternity inside the college. How many student clubs are there in general, and have you
Yeah,
participated in any of the student
yeah,
club?
there are countless number of clubs in IIT Kharagpur. Club feature this society culture is one of the
Mm-hmm.
most trending in IIT Kharagpur, which started from IIT Kharagpur only.
Okay.
So I cannot count because there are more than 30 to 40 clubs. I cannot name them as well, but I can name a
Mm-hmm.
few of them. Like firstly, I'm naming the ones in which I'm a part of. Like
Okay.
I'm a part of business club IIT Kharagpur.
Mm-hmm.
They teach us this machine learning. They teach us
Mm-hmm.
finance, and they teach us this business and strategies. So all those
Okay.
things, the students who have a mind, who have to do something in business, who are very much uh, inspired to the to do in stock market, just who are business minded people. They are there, they just talk about their strategies. They just
Mm-hmm.
the second years, the sophomores, who they teach us like this is what happens in the real world, this is the real world, this is the buzzing
Mm-hmm.
terms here, like the stock market. I didn't even know what's the meaning of stock. They just taught us everything. And now I'm into data analytics. I can create my own linear regression model. I can
Okay.
they taught us how to start Python coding, and it's a very nice club and one of the most reputed club in IIT Kharagpur.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I'm in a club called Communicate.
Okay.
Communicate, it focuses on the soft skills like how to speak, how to speak in front of public, and how to give proper elocutions, how to present monologues, and all
Mm-hmm.
those things which are required in a interview while taking a job. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm in the first year, and the second years they teach us like
Mm-hmm.
they just now like in the this period when we are at homes, they we still do some activities like we do jam sessions, just a minute sessions. We
Okay.
post our elocutions there. They tell us to read books. They have given a PDF of a lot of books to us. So yeah, so it's a very good running society, which
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just helps us. It will help us in some time uh, when we'll present ourselves in front of people and when we'll give our interviews and placement offers like
Mm-hmm.
this.
So for every interest there, you can for sure find a club in IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's business. There's music societies. There's dance
Mm-hmm.
societies.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern music, Western music, they are separated. There are dramatic societies of four cultures like Bengali
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic Society, Telugu Dramatic Society, English and Hindi Dramatic Societies, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a comedy club as well. And as far as I remember, there's swimming clubs. Yeah, and sports. There's sports clubs, different sports like basketball. There are inter-IIT teams. There are hall teams like for the inter-hall GC,
Okay.
and yeah,
Okay, a
many
lot,
others.
lot of them.
Yeah, hell lot
Okay,
of.
now let's talk about internship. How are the internship opportunity inside, in the university? And also, would you like to talk about the companies who hire interns from your com science?
Yeah, the internship facilities which I have heard of, which my third years, my mentor, yeah, everyone has given a mentor in the first year, which they have taught us. They told us that they are fairly good in the in IIT Kharagpur. Like
Mm-hmm.
mostly Microsoft comes and Microsoft for internships, Microsoft hires 20 to 30 students, and apart from Microsoft, uh, like Accenture is there. There's and Infosys is there.
Okay.
Uh, Google is there. Apple doesn't come for internships. Uh, and yeah, the analytic companies like McKinsey is there
Okay.
for and for yeah for core branches for
Mm-hmm.
electrical there's NTPC, this indigenous companies come. Yeah, the car companies like Mahindra, Tata,
Okay.
they also come.
Okay. And now let's talk about working on campus. Do students get into on-campus jobs like teaching assistant and
Yeah,
research assistant? Yeah.
mhm. like for teaching assistant, like I'm in dual degree. I have 5 years here, and
Mm-hmm.
my whole the whole MTech course,
Mm-hmm.
it's submerged into the whole fourth and fifth year. Like for the fourth year, I will have a lot much of course than the normal students. And
Mm-hmm.
for the fifth year, I only have to make 2 or 3 projects for the completion of my degree. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, for the fifth year, the like students like me who are indulged in dual degree, they are given a chance to be teaching assistants of some professors,
Okay.
um, paid teaching assistants. Uh, and for no, there are no research scholars. They are hired from outside campus, and
Okay.
there's a gate paper as well for those MTech students. And the MTech students, they are also they have more experience than us, so they are preferred to be teaching assistants over us. And for the
Okay.
fifth year, we are for the fifth year uh, we get the opportunity, and whereas they get the opportunity for the first year as because they have only 2 years.
Okay, okay, got it. And would you like to recommend some additional coursework for incoming student to improve their chances of getting internship and jobs, other than
Oh,
what you are being
courses.
taught?
Uh, like courses, you mean Udemy and Coursera courses?
Yeah, personal courses that might, give you more weightage when it comes to
Yeah.
finding potential jobs.
Actually, currently I'm in first year and I'm not in a position to recommend. But
Okay.
still, if someone is into coding, then I'll
Mm-hmm.
suggest him to do a course in programming fundamentals, and then and then in a language proficiency. I
Mm-hmm.
will recommend him to do competitive coding in sites like Hacker and Hacker, to do some projects, to develop some projects.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it would be the best to do a project of any other companies which are given for free to which anyone can register in the country,
Okay.
and they will get a lot of experience, like how the real world coding, like how coding is helpful in the real world. Like
Okay.
currently in COVID cases, there is a project on COVID, like how to estimate the number of COVID patients around you. Like there are many
Mm-hmm.
courses, uh, and for I have also taken a course on programming C from Coursera, and
Okay.
JavaScript. And for front end coding, JavaScript is very much required apart from HTML and CSS.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
can also take a course on that.
Now let's talk about the cost that comes when a student decide to study in IIT Kharagpur. So, did you take any loan from any of the bank or financial institute?
No, I have not taken any notes.
You have not taken bank. Okay, and I want to understand in terms of intensity of curriculum, how would you rate it on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest in computer science?
Um, in computer science, okay. So
Yeah.
currently in first year, I
Mm-hmm.
would rate it like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, uh, because it's the mistake of students as well, as they don't study the whole year, and when it comes to exams they just study for one day, and they feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's a lot of pressure in IIT. But it's not that. If you just study daily, like in JE days, we used to study practice daily. We used to enhance our concepts. We used to clarify our doubts. If we study daily, not for like 8 to 10 hours, just for 2 to 3 hours, like what is this taught today? What is this taught to us today in the class? Like if we just revise those things, it's enough, and it won't be any it won't create any stress in 1 or 2 days before exam,
Okay.
if we just practice
So,
daily.
how would you rate if I have to ask you your personal rating on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest?
Yeah, I would rate it 8
Eight. Okay.
because
And
it's not
also,
as simple as I think.
on an
Hmm.
average, how many hours do you spend in a day doing your study, homework, assignments, and project?
In IIT, I'm indulged in two societies as well as I'm indulged in basketball. So I get
Mm-hmm.
a very less time. Even there are days comes in which I don't study either. But if you're asking me the average, I would say 1 to 1.5 hours a day.
Okay.
A regular day, not before exams. Before exams, I have to study the whole day.
So
Like I
it's
cannot even go out.
so the curriculum before entering into IIT was more hectic than what you are, into
Yeah,
right now.
yes,
Okay.
because there was the lot of pressure in JEE. Like our future depends on that only paper, like future
Hmm.
preferred college, because you have to score there. And if you know that this is your potential, and like this is the best you can get, if you know that, then it's good. But if you just do some questions wrong, which you eventually do by just taking something, even doing wrong calculations or any other silly mistake, it would
Mm-hmm.
hurt very badly later.
Okay.
So you have to practice there, you have to reduce your mistakes there, and you have to reduce them. You have to and optimize your marks.
Okay.
That's a lot of pressure in 3 days. But now there's just you have to get a good CT just to pass as well. So in the first year, the first sem was easy for me.
Okay.
So I scored a CGPA of 9.7 in the 9.74 in first semester, and the second semester is dismissed due to coronavirus.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the tuition fee and what is the monthly, cost that you incur on your food and housing. Anyways, you're staying in a hostel. So what is your tuition fee and the cost that you incur on top of it?
Yeah, we have to pay their per semester wise,
Mm-hmm.
and for each semester the tuition fee is 1 lakh,
Okay.
exact 1 lakh for tuition fees, and taking the hostel fees, the hall charges, the mess
Mm-hmm.
charges, the personal gym charges, the
Mm-hmm.
personal cycle repair charges, it comes to 1.5.
Okay. And I want to understand in terms of placement in your program, what is the percentage of placement?
Luckily, the previous batch of me got 100% placed.
Okay.
Even some boys were there who got less, like 10 10 lakhs per annum, and
Okay.
but there are even some boys who got a way more, like 50 to 60 lakhs per annum. And if you
Mm-hmm.
go off campus, you can even get up to 80 to 90.
Okay.
And if you go to other countries, you can go to crore as well.
Okay. And I want to understand how does career center or the career, counselors help a student in getting job in case if they fail in getting by any chance?
Actually, there's a career development council in IIT Kharagpur, especially.
Mm-hmm.
They guide the students, like how to present yourself, what to wear, and they just do the same uh, with the companies which come. They treat them very well. They keep them in their hotels, and they give them proper and they come into proper auditoriums for this placement
Mm-hmm.
facilities. They provide them all facilities so that they also take as many students as they can. So they also help a lot in getting the students properly, in getting most of the students placed.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the placement, the interviewers, they are also very highly intelligent. So they also see the potential of every child. They also conduct papers to pass them, and you have
Okay.
to pass those preliminary tests.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not able to, you cannot sit in the placement. You have to have a decent CGPA to sit in those placements.
Mm-hmm.
There are many rules, but
Okay.
yeah, they help us. But ultimately, it's up to you how you present yourself, how much knowledge have you developed in those years of IT Kharagpur. It all depends on you.
Okay. And let's talk about how is life in hostel?
Hmm.
Is it lively? Is it
Yeah,
studious?
yeah. So I'd like to share my experience. So at first, when I entered IT Kharagpur, as IT
Mm-hmm.
Kharagpur is the most is the oldest IIT of all, is the mother of all IITs.
Mm-hmm.
So IIT Kharagpur, the hostels are of that time only. So we have got a small room in which we have to, in which three students are uh, have to occupy that. So
Mm-hmm.
this personal space is very less there, and the floorings, they don't have tiles. The walls, they have colored yellow, and the doors. Yeah, yeah. Everything is actually saying it's very old. So
Okay. So
when I first,
infrastructure wise, it is old
yeah.
overall. Okay.
Hmm.
And how is life? Is it like, is it very happening or is everybody walking around with their books,
No, no,
with a
no. It's
studious
yeah.
face?
Yeah. We have hell. We have a lot of freedom there. Where we
Okay.
can roam at any time. There is no restriction of time. We can come to our hostels at any time. We can uh, we can even we can even stay outside the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
There are no restrictions there, so it's kind of fun for
Okay.
everyone to just
Okay.
experience those
So it's
hectic days.
loud and happening life in
Yeah,
general.
yeah,
Okay. Now, let's talk about since you have already lived this journey and you have reached where you wanted to be in life, into the best university. So I want you to give some advice to student, as you even told prior to that, you need to manage time when it comes to answering question. Other than that, any other advice that you want to give it to aspiring students, so that if they can do really well in mains and advance? And also,
yeah.
is there any mistake that you want to talk about which a student should avoid if they want to qualify these exams?
Yeah. So I'll start with the mistake which I have done. Like I've said, I was not that serious in standard ninth and 10th. So I
Mm-hmm.
would first suggest them to be a little serious, not to destroy our childhood, but be a little more serious. Like you have to do that. Just keep this feeling in your mind that you have to clear IIT. And second most thing is that from classes 9th to 11th as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I like this thing I said, we have to review our notes daily, what is being taught to us in the classes, and what the teachers at Fiji they have taught us. Like
Mm-hmm.
it, it's very important, which I felt in standard 12. Like
Mm-hmm.
if a certain concept is taught, and even how well we have grasped it, but to place it in the long term memory so that we can remember it at any time, we have to revise again when we come home, and at the same day, without wasting much time. If we have any doubts regarding that, we also have to clarify that doubt at that time only. Because
Okay.
if we just keep it in our mind, like yeah, we have studied that, and we don't revise that, that doubt will certainly come later, and it will come in time of in it can even come in times of papers, and then we don't know what to do. So I don't want anyone to be in that situation, like you have studied that concept but still you are not fully clarified with that concept. So
Okay.
if we revise the notes daily, we'll certainly come up with doubts. And if we clarify those doubts won't come later in the paper times. Like I've said that each day I give 2 to 3 papers, and I have
Mm-hmm.
doubts. I ask my friends like how to do these kind of questions. They told many times they have told me that like we have done this in the class. Where were you at that time? So I was
Okay.
yeah, I've done it in the class, but still I don't know how to manipulate it in this way. So they just told me like it was very trivial kind of thing. So these kind of things which appear later, it's better to
Mm-hmm.
clarify at that time when we study that. So
Okay.
it will just reduce your time, it will just increase the time of your practice, and you can
Mm-hmm.
even save hours for you can do extra practice as well.
Okay. And this is a mistake which no student should kind of do if they want to crack these exams. And any advice that you would have received from your senior or from your teachers that you want to pass it on?
Yeah, firstly, this thing like a revision of daily notes, my faculty members and my friends, everyone has told me to do this. Like it's every generation who has passed through IIT, they have just told me this only. Like to you have to be very tough with your concepts. Like yeah, the question will be in any, it can be in any way, in any manipulative way, like you have never thought like it can, how this kind of thing can occur with this small kind of concept. But if you
Mm-hmm.
are just strong with your concepts, like if you are, you know, like this or this happens, even though what happens, this is a kind of axiom and this happens and this has to happen, as this is a concept which is very well clarified in my mind. So
Okay.
if your concepts are that stone hard, then you can break any question, you can find the algorithm to any question, and you can save a lot of time in the paper.
Okay.
uh, the building of your strong concepts uh, is a thing which I would like to pass on.
Okay. So Abhilash, this was really very informative, and I really appreciate your time. And I want to tell our viewers that Abhilash is one of our expert on the platform connectbud.com, and they can log in and can ask their question and concern that they have directly one-on-one with Abhilash. So thank you so much again, Abhilash, and I thank our viewers
Thank
for
you.
watching the interview. And you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Same to you.